What's going on, guys? Bengal King here, coming back at you with another video. Also, if I didn't pronounce Bengal well, sorry. I don't know how to say my own moniker on YouTube. But today we are rebuilding the Carolina Panthers. I did the first one a while ago, the fantasy style, and I had a lot of technical difficulties in that one, and I imagine it was quite tough to watch. So I do apologize, but we're finally working our way back to them. And they've had a really interesting season. Christian McCaffrey's taken off as probably the best running back in the NFL. And then quarterback play has been spotty, to say the least. Kyle Allen has not been good really at all. He fooled people for a little while, but hasn't really been particularly good. And then what do you do with Cam Newton? In today's realistic rebuild, and that pretty much is only a term because we're using the actual 2020 NFL draft class, but you know, we're still going to have a little bit of fun with it, right? It's not just like, oh, we can't make any fun things happen. Just relax a little bit. But we're rebuilding the Carolina Panthers today. We got to figure out what to do with Cam Newton. There's speculation of him being traded. You know, Chicago's a team that comes out there a lot. Some other teams, of course, I can't remember offhand where people say he's going to go. But I don't know that the Panthers trade Cam Newton at all. But I'm the GM. I'm running things now. I'm going to figure out what I want to do with Cam Newton. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into it. Realistic rebuild of the Carolina Panthers. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button. And if you're going to go get tickets to any game or concert, event, whatever, if they're on SeatGeek, you can use code Bengal and save yourself $20 when you do that. So it's kind of a no-brainer. You're going to go anyway, right? Might as well save some money. Let's go ahead and take a look at the roster. And it's actually not too bad. There are some young, really talented players on this team. Kyle Allen really not being one of them, but we got Christian McCaffrey. DJ Moore is a stud. Curtis Samuels enjoyed a really good season. And really, I guess the most disappointing player on this team, in my opinion, has been Darrell Williams. He was like a big potential free agent tackle that has been now kicked inside to play guard, with Taylor Moton taking over at right tackle, and they have Greg Little that they're trying out at left tackle. I don't know. Darrell Williams has not been exceptionally great this year. So that's tough to see. I guess the transition to guard has been a little bit tough. But they got Matt Paradis, one of the better centers in free agency that was brought in, if not the best center, excuse me. Not in the league, but in the free agent class last time. Trey Turner. Greg Olsen is still good, even though he's real old. And then, of course, Christian McCaffrey, Cam Newton, Will Grier in there. I'm going to be interested to see what we could get for Cam Newton. He's 30 years old, coming off a big injury. Now, we don't have to worry about injuries in the sim, but I think we might try and trade him in the offseason. I think that'd be fun. And then defensively, of course, the Panthers snagged Brian Burns just before the Giants could have the opportunity to take him, and they went with Dexter Lawrence. I love Brian Burns. I think he was an exceptional prospect at Florida State. He was so good, did everything so well, and he's enjoyed a pretty good season in his rookie year. He's been really good, of course. Luke Kuechly, one of the best, if not the best, inside linebacker in football. Bobby Wagner makes a very strong case as well. Shaq Thompson, Mario Addison, who people think is great because he got some sacks, but doesn't really get consistent pressure at all. Defensive line, K'Wan Short's a good player. Dentari Poe's okay. Gerald McCoy is still good and productive. And then the secondary is pretty bad as a whole. Trey Boston's all right. Eric Reed is not too good. James Bradbury hasn't really taken a step up as people anticipated, myself included. Dante Jackson's in here. He's a decent player. He's played pretty well. But then outside of that, there's not too much going on. Ross Cockrell, Corn Elder, it's not so good. Natrell Jamerson, it's not good. We got to improve the team in a lot of ways. But there are definitely some big pieces to work with. So I'm excited we finally get to use Brian Burns. He's impossible to trade for. I've tried many times. But let's go ahead and simulate to the end of the first season. We're going to go just straight to the offseason because I jumped in at week 14 with the real-life rosters when you create your franchise. So this is not actually going to be most of my work. It's just the actual season stats and their terrible record and things like that. So I'm excited to just kind of get a clean slate going, fresh start, and start winning some games in year 2 or 3. Now, the Steelers somehow made the Super Bowl. If that happens this year, I would be surprised. But Gerald McCoy is here. James Bradbury, Trey Boston. Shaq Thompson's here. Darrell Williams. Some decent free agents and tough decisions based on age. I do want to bring back Shaq Thompson for sure. Trey Boston, I think I'm going to let walk. 28 is that heavy regression age for players in this game. So Trey Boston's not worth a whole lot to me. James Bradbury is interesting. but I assume he's going to be asking for a lot, and he is. I'm not paying James Bradbury over 7 per year. He's going to regress next season. I doubt he ever makes it even to an 85 overall, so I'm out on that. And then Gerald McCoy is another tough one where he's 32 years old, asking for almost 10 a year. I would sign him to a 2-year deal, but that'd be certainly it. I'll offer him this contract. He wants to test free agency. That's fine. People always wonder why. It's like, oh, you don't work with the contracts enough. It's like, if you offer base of what is like expected offer, like we just did for Gerald McCoy, or less, they decline 90% of the time. It's not worth it when I have to do these one-off rebuild videos to tinker with contracts and see if I can get them to accept. You know, it's better to just give them the default or more so they actually re-sign. People get mad at that. It's like, relax. Get mad at anything else, please. There's got to be a better way to spend your time than getting mad over that. Amari Cooper's here. It's the same free agents as always, obviously. I don't really want to sign anybody just because, I mean, we've seen these guys so often, and like, who really helps out this team a lot that's a decent age that we're not going to be overpaying? Like, no one is really in that range except for maybe Marcus Peters, and he doesn't really progress well. We get Kendall Fuller a lot. Austin Hooper would be a big addition if we can snag him for cheap. I think he'd be a perfect replacement to Greg Olsen down the line, or I guess immediately, and then Greg Olsen can be a backup. So if we can get him for nothing, I mean, I'm so in. And then Chris Jones, superstar X Factor, I might as well offer him a deal just because no one else is, and he'd be a big addition on the defensive line. I always try to get bargains for no offers in free agency. It's just really not possible when re-signing players. So hopefully we get one, if not both of those guys, and we get both of them, Chris Jones and Austin Hooper. Didn't expect to get both, but they signed outright. We got bargain deals for them, big additions. Now, Greg Olsen can just be a backup. We can look to maybe potentially draft offensive line. The defensive line is in a fantastic spot, as Chris Jones is a huge addition. We might look to transition into a 4-3. We lost Mario Addison. Brian Burns has superstar development. Did he get that, or did he have that? Looks like he had that. But Brian Burns is going to slide down to left end. Chris Jones is going to stay at defensive tackle. K'Wan Short is going to play defensive tackle. Dontari Poe is not someone I see being in the long-term future of this team. And then we'll just look for another edge. And then I think with our off-the-ball linebackers, we'll have Luke Kuechly, Shaq Thompson. Wait. Did I not re-sign Shaq Thompson? Oh, what a terrible start this has been. Okay, so we actually brought back Shaq Thompson, signed him, and we brought in Levi Wallace as well. Only normal development. Levi Wallace continues to be like the most underrated player, like all the time. He was underrated in college. He was underrated going into the NFL. He was underrated coming out of high school. Like underrated, and only normal development in Madden. But he is a 77 overall. He is young. I think there's a lot of potential there. Okay, NFL draft time. We pick at number 20. Goes Bengals, Dolphins, Redskins, Giants. That'd be a very interesting draft order, one that I wouldn't care for too much. I really want the Giants to have a shot at Chase Young. So, don't know that they will at number 4 overall, but we'll see what's on the board for the Panthers at number 20 as Creed Humphrey goes off the board. At number 20, we're going to take Shyheim Carter. He's a good player. He's a safety, and he's going to cut, well, versatility to move to cornerback as well. Has kind of done it all for the Crimson Tide these past couple years at Alabama. But Shyheim Carter is the pick, and he is a 75 overall with star or better development. Ranked at number 20. We took him at exactly 20. Good speed, good zone coverage, hit power, man coverage. Again, he's a very well-rounded player, and I think he's going to be a really good addition to this team. There goes Chuba Hubbard to the Titans. That's an interesting one. T. Higgins is still available. That's a tough one to not take. I think we are going to. T. Higgins to the Panthers. Number 42 in the class. We took him at 52. 73 overall, star, better development. Now we have a really good combo of receivers. Good speed, great spectacular catching ability. Route running's not too bad. T. Higgins is a really good player. First-round talent for sure. And here he is available in the second round. Let's go Khalid Kareem here out of Notre Dame. 69 overall. Nice. Only normal development, number 111 in the class. We took him at 84. We needed an edge rusher, and I think that's what he provides. He's a decent player. Again, nothing special, nothing exceptional, but someone that can come in and play right away. We'll go Trevor Wallace Sims here out of Mizzou. We do need more help on the offensive line. Not that he's necessarily going to bring that at 63 overall, only normal development. Decently strong, but really doesn't do a whole lot of that blocking thing, huh? Go with the cornerback here in Troy Pride Jr. out of Notre Dame. Again, not an exceptional player, but it is depth at the position. That's kind of the nicest thing you can say as we will simulate to the end of the draft. So this will be the team for Season 2. I definitely want T. Higgins playing a lot, and then defensively, I hope Shyheim Carter can win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I'm going to spend my Coach XP, and I am going to look to trade Cam Newton. I just don't think he's the future of this team, at least for me at this point. So if we get offers for him, which we do, I might be inclined to trade him, and that's not a whole lot of value there from the Giants. I might look to trade him manually and see what type of value I can really get. We're trading Cam Newton, a 5th and a 7th, to the Colts for a first-round pick. I think that's more like it. Cam Newton is certainly worth a lot more than a 3rd and a 5th to me for what I'd want to trade him. He's 31 years old, though. I just don't think he's the future of this team anymore, at least for me. We're going to rock with Will Grier. So not great, but we're going to go for it. We are 6-1 at the midseason mark under Will Grier. Okay. Well, I didn't really expect that. I know the Panthers playbook is overpowered. I don't want to bring back Greg Olsen, even the boat, Blake Bortles. I do want to bring back Curtis Samuel. I do want to bring back Taylor Moton. The rest I don't really care about. Dontari Poe's too old for this, so. All right, Moton and Curtis Samuel both return. Greg Olsen's 35, man. I cannot re-sign him. There's no point. First round bye. This team would go 11-5, so dropped off big time in the second half of the season, but our quarterback was Blake Bortles. How did that happen? They took it from Will Grier. That's how we made the play. I can't believe this. The boat. Blake Bortles. Christian McCaffrey had a great season. Mike Davis had 13 touchdowns. DJ Moore was all right, I guess. It's not really a good season, but we had Blake Bortles, so that's understandable. We're a run-first team, clearly. Shaq Thompson with a great year. Shocked to see Luke Kuechly not more active, but okay. We didn't really force a whole lot of turnovers either. How was this team as good as it was? Was it just purely based on Christian McCaffrey being dominant as Josh Allen wins MVP? NFC Offensive Player of the Year is Kyler Murray. Christian McCaffrey at 9. Defensive Player of the Year is Khalil Mack. Shaq Thompson at 10. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Jake Fromm in New Orleans. T. Higgins at 6. Defensive Rookie of the Year is Derek Brown. Shyheim Carter at 10, really. Troy Pride at 6. I'm so confused about some of these stats and how Shyheim Carter's so low, especially. Like, he had 75 tackles. Didn't get an interception, though. This is, I don't know, this is like the worst team I've ever had make the playoffs. So if we win the divisional and even go further beyond that, I will be shocked. We'll take a look at some of the developments of the rookies that we drafted. It looks like Shyheim Carter has superstar development or better, which is very nice. T. Higgins with star, and then Shyheim Carter with superstar. It's still a really bad team, but I don't know, man. At least we played well. I don't know. We just got ourselves out of a good pick, I guess, with this bad team. But we'll see if we can beat the Bears in the divisional. And we do not, losing 21-3. We scored 3 points against the Bears. They got a decent defense, but 3 points? That's tough. So Myles Garrett is here, and that's pretty much a no-brainer. It's also interesting that nobody's offering him a contract, so if this is another guy that we can lowball, which is going to be tough, just based on how good he is, but if we can lowball and sign him, it's a no-brainer. I just hope no other team wants him, which they probably will. He's Myles Garrett. So we got Zach Cunningham. Offered Zach Cunningham a contract. Like that addition to our team. Our linebackers are fine now, and I find that it's extremely difficult to find good linebackers in the draft. They're a rarity. Shaq Thompson is up to superstar development, so it was an incredibly wise decision to bring him back. Zach Cunningham is going to flip outside and play right outside linebacker. He'll have the same responsibility as an inside backer, pretty much like at a 3-4, so I don't mind that. So it's not a tough transition from him from Houston now to Carolina, but we still need an edge, still need to improve across the secondary. And then offensively, I'm looking at quarterback. and offensive line still. All right, there are other teams that want Myles Garrett, including the Giants. Although we're just going to go ahead and give him more money, and this is still an extremely reasonable contract. So I'm going to extend that. I mean, I would go as high as 16 annually for sure. We're going to get up to 88 total points and hopefully get some of these guys. We don't need wide receiver or a backup running back. Malcolm Jenkins is too old. Gary and Conley might not be a terrible addition if we can get him for real cheap. Let's see. Let's see if we can just bring down the money a lot and just totally steal him. He'd be really stupid to sign for that, but maybe. All right, we got Gary and Conley. Still don't know about Myles Garrett, man. The Giants upped their offer. Okay, they're coming to play. I'm going to go higher. All right, we got Myles Garrett. That's a huge addition. Garrett is a stud. Our defense now looks really good. Totally don't need to target edge in the draft. We just got to look towards the offensive side of the ball, really. And trading up for a quarterback is something that's on my mind. We still need safety. Gary and Conley signed. Look at this defensive line, though. It is pretty good. This whole defense I like. Just, we're really a quarterback away. We pick at number 21 overall for our first pick. Remember that we have the Colts pick. The Jets are at number 1. And there's a quarterback at number 1 that looks like a beast. Sheldon Grayson out of Auburn. Now, I don't know if you remember the last time the Panthers drafted a quarterback number 1 overall out of Auburn, but it turned out okay. He won an MVP and made a Super Bowl. Okay, this is a not so realistic move, don't get me wrong, but I need to trade up to number 1 overall for the sake of this rebuild. So I'm doing it by any means necessary. We're trading Matt Paradis, 31-year-old center. Big cap hit to us, so it creates an immediate hole at center and a first-round pick. I needed to get this quarterback, Sheldon Grayson out of Auburn, not only for the storyline, but for the success of this team. He is a 76 overall, ranked at number 3 in the class. We took him at number 1. He's got star or better development. He's worse than I thought he would be. 89 throw power is a little bit lackluster. He's well-balanced, so he's accurate. I think he's going to be good for us. With this pick, I'm going to be taking Jacoby Tryon out of Indiana. He's an edge rusher. Is not a position that we desperately need, but he's a good player, and I want to add him to the team. And he's a 78 overall, number 1 in the class. We took him at 21, 84 finesse moves, 83 speed, good tackle, good play rec, good strength, pretty much good everything. Yeah, he's a really solid player. Definitely going to want to find a role for him. We'll be taking a guard here. Kobe Thornton out of Ole Miss, 69 overall. Nice. Number 45 in the class. We take him at 59. We need to fill holes across the offensive line, especially with trading Matt Paradis. I'm aware we got the number 1 overall pick for not all that much, but sorry. Had to happen. Had to happen. And we will be taking offensive line from here on out. Nolan Conrad is a 70 overall. Number 28 in the class. We took him at 91. And then my next pick also will be offensive line. And then I think we're going to be good across the O-line. We got potential here. Conrad's not better than Greg Little, but I think he's definitely younger. And then Zach Lawrence is a 71 overall, normal development. Number 24 in the class, we take him at 123. None of those guys have great development traits, so they're not must-start players, but some of them certainly will start for sure. We had a really good draft, though, so I'm excited. So this is the team for the 3rd season. I really like what we have here. Rookie quarterback, hopefully, is pretty productive. And then defensively, hoping for big things. Tryon's going to play like back up to all these different positions, and he's going to be a rush D tackle for us. So we'll see how that works out. Probably not that well. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe that speed and those finesse moves are going to come in handy. But I will simulate to the midseason mark and see how this team's doing. I would love for him to have a big season. I think we're going to be in store for great things. If we could make the playoffs last year under Blake Bortles, imagine what we can do with an actually decent quarterback that has room to progress and a revamped defense. Things could be really good here in Season 3. All right, we are 4-3, so we're positive at least. We're above 500. We're atop the NFC South. Things are okay. Christian McCaffrey has an expiring contract that we're going to want to deal with. Luke Kuechly as well. Dante Jackson, Trey Turner, K'Wan Short, Michael Pilardi. I mean, everybody's here, man. This is a huge free agent class. I want to bring back everybody apart from K'Wan Short, probably, just because He is only 82 overall. I think that edge that we drafted can kick inside the defensive tackle realistically. So I don't know that I want to pay Trey Turner all this money. All right, I'm not going to worry about Graham Gano right now either, but everybody aside from Trey Turner decided to re-sign. We'll work with him at a different time. We don't need to force it right now. We're going to upgrade the team, simulate to the playoffs, which I have every intention of making. We'll see what Grayson's development is, and I doubt that Tryon is going to have a development trait available. But Grayson has superstar X Factor, so we absolutely made the right move in trading up. He's got Bazooka, Lofting Deadeye, and Long Range Deadeye. This was 100% the right move to get rid of Cam Newton and trade up, even if we had to make kind of weird trades to do so. Tryon's only got star development. A little bit disappointing, but he's almost to the level of K1 Short at defensive tackle in terms of overall. So we might just make him the main starter now and continue to have him be a rush D tackle for us. So I think he might end up being a defensive tackle, as strange as that sounds. So we snuck into the playoffs at 9-7. The Bucs won the division. Grayson did not have a particularly good year. What do we have to do to change up our offense? Don't know. Haven't figured that out yet, but not a great year. Christian McCaffrey was great. Receiving, DJ Moore had a much better season, much improved. Defensively, Luke Kuechly with a great year. 18 sacks for Myles Garrett, 9.5 for Chris Jones, 6.5 for Kuechly, 6 for Tryon, 4 picks for Dante Jackson. Do you have any defensive touchdowns? No. Didn't matter. We should win Offensive Rookie of the Year just because he's a QB, as Ezekiel Elliott wins MVP. NFC Offensive Player of the Year is Zeke. Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett. I like it. Luke Kuechly at 4. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Sheldon Grayson. He's a quarterback, so that's just kind of what happens. And Defensive Rookie of the Year is Jacoby Tryon. Interesting. I'll take Offensive and Defensive Rookie of the Year in the same class. Not too bad. This is the team for Season 3 playoffs. Probably won't be doing a whole lot of jumping in if we don't make it to the NFC Conference Championship or NFC Championship. So if we beat the Seahawks, we beat the Seahawks in the wild card. If not, whatever. And we do. 23-10. Now to face the 10-6 division champion Buccaneers. Okay. Do we beat the Bucs? We do. And now it's the Packers in the conference championship. We're going to simulate to the Super Bowl. I don't think we're going to beat the Packers, but we don't. It proved to be true. Could have jumped in there, but I think we're going to be back in the playoffs for Season 4, which will likely be the final season, I suppose, depending on success. But I do want to bring back Trey Turner. Who else is here that I would like to bring back? Nobody really. Graham Gano's regressing. Ian Thomas could be a good player to bring back, as he's fairly cheap for his ability. So he is back. Graham Gano is just regressing too much. But Trey Turner, he's a solid offensive lineman. Only 29 offensive linemen don't generally regress until a little bit later in the game and in real life too. So I'm totally fine to bring him back. And we'll see what's available in free agency. We've got just under 22 mil to spend. Leighton Vander Esch is here. Michael Gallup. Mark Andrews would be a good player, but we don't need him at all. Could use a safety. Don't really like the options at all. Could use cornerback. Chris Harris Jr. would be a decent addition. A little bit expensive. Not really a whole lot for me in free agency. I think I'm going to just pass. All right, NFL draft. I want... we pick number 29. I want a safety or a great cornerback that I could potentially move back. Darnell Ray looks like he's okay. He's really, really fast. We're not going to have a shot at any of the top players that I'd like, so I'm just going to see what's available at 29 and see what our consolation prize ends up being. Top guy on my board is Tracy Stanley. He's an offensive lineman, and he is a 75 overall, number 11 in the class. We took him at 29. Can come in and start right away. We still haven't really plugged that safety hole the way I wanted to, but Tracy Stanley is definitely an improvement on that O-line for us. Kyrie Williamson looks pretty good out of Wake Forest. He is a 68 overall normal dev, number 49 in the class. We took him at 61. That's probably going to do it for the draft, honestly. It's not a very talented class as far as I can tell, and there's certainly not much value later down the board. We kind of just got the two best players that we could have, and they weren't even all that good. Good tackle, but not much else. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. Shaq Thompson is going to move back to strong safety. I know that's kind of a weird move, but Shaq Thompson played a safety hybrid role at Washington, where he also played a little bit of running back, funnily enough. But he's going to play safety for us just to fill that gap. And then Tryon is going to kick back to left outside linebacker, kind of be a nice hybrid player for us in that role. Hopefully get some pressure off the edge in that spot. And Khalid Kareem is going to move inside to play defensive tackle. This is the kind of moment where I wish that we would still have K'Wan Short, but we don't, so we have to deal with it. It's not much of a downgrade anyway in terms of overall. K'Wan Short was down like a 79, I think, and Khalid Kareem is a 70, almost 74 overall. So, it's not a great thing, but if we had a safety, we wouldn't have to worry about any of this. Unfortunately, there were no safeties that I could draft. I can't move up to number 2 like that, like I did in the first season. I just don't have the capital to do so with the draft picks. Just wasn't going to happen. Mid-season mark, we are 5-3. Not going to worry about re-signing players because this should be the final season. The Bucs again are outperforming expectations as they seem to do. Not a whole lot of upgrade points, unfortunately. We do have some Coach XP to spend. We'll see. I don't know, receiver maybe, or I already did that. Running back, Christian McCaffrey doesn't need it. Tight end, I guess, for Austin Hooper, and then kicker and punter. We've got the Coach XP out the ass. The team's just got to come through now. We just need to see success. We need to be back in the playoffs, and this could be a Super Bowl winning team. All right, first round bye. We went 10-5-1 and got a first round bye. It's a little strange. Our offense was great in total. I guess it's got to be only because of Christian McCaffrey, and we had the best defense in the league. Kind of a weird year for Sheldon Grayson. Like, he's not putting up great numbers, but it's all Christian McCaffrey all the time. He had 1,800 plus yards and 13 touchdowns. Receiving, Austin Hooper led us in yards. Touchdowns went to T. Higgins, and catches went to Curtis Samuel. DJ Moore not playing much of a factor for us. Luke Kuechly, great year. Sacks, 12 for Myles Garrett, 8 for Brian Burns, 7 for Chris Jones even. Interceptions, 3 for Luke Kuechly, 3 for Dante Jackson. Shaq Thompson was great at safety, only allowed 17 catches. So, I mean, he was solid, man. As a run-stopping safety, he did great. Deshaun Watson wins MVP. What team am I, the Panthers? Yeah, we're not in there. NFC Offense Player of the Year is Ezekiel Elliott. Christian McCaffrey at 3. Defensive Player of the Year, DeForest Buckner. Luke Kuechly at 5. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Lawrence Gibson. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Deion Bradford. Brian Burns with a new ability. So that means he's up to a 90 overall. We have the 9-6-1 49ers in the divisional. We're a 90 overall. I assume it's got to be higher than the 49ers, but we'll see in just a minute. This is what the final team will look like. Unless we make it to the Super Bowl, I will re-update you again. But the team looks pretty good, man. It's just about coming out there and making some plays when it matters in the playoffs. And I think we're definitely capable of doing that. The 49ers are going to be a decent team, but I don't think they're going to be able to compete personally. They're an 84 overall. Let's see what we're capable of. Hopefully, it's a win. We are hopefully going to win this game. We do. I mean, the 49ers score at the buzzer. Essentially, it's not basketball, but they score at the final whistle, making it 24-21. Doesn't matter. Too little, too late. Shout out JoJo. We're going to the... Was that the divisional or was that the wild card? I think it was a wild card. I don't remember. No, that was the divisional. Okay, we had a first round bye. I forgot about that. But we have the Bears now in the conference championship. The Bears usually play pretty well in simulation. Their offense just always leads to their quarterback doing really, really well. And I don't think it's going to be Mitchell Trubisky. We're 90 overall to their 83. We'll see if we can manage to come out on top. One game away from the Super Bowl. Come on, let's not give up now. Yeah, Chicago offense is cooking to start the game. We have yet to stop them. It is 24-2, and we didn't even score. 24-17. Okay, now the offense is coming alive. Defense just got to step up, man. It's going to be over. It's too little too late. Our offense has turned over the ball, it looks like, twice inside our own territory. And De'Aaron King has thrown for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, while our quarterback has not managed even 1 touchdown. He's thrown an interception. Has anyone fumbled? I feel like we fumbled. I don't know. I guess not. But Oh man, we're gonna lose the game unless we can somehow get a turnover, and I'll do my very best, but I think it's unlikely. All right, third down. We need to stop really badly. Hopefully, oh, don't jump off sides. That'd be a really bad time for that. Hopefully, everybody just plays their matchup. We're in man coverage. I'm gonna pinch the defensive line. No, I'm not. We're gonna spread. Okay, it's definitely a pass, and oh my goodness, I pressed R1 by mistake, leading to a SWAT animation, or a strip animation, excuse me. But they are short of the line to gain. They're going to settle for the field goal. It's going to put us down by exactly 2 touchdowns with 2 minutes to go. We have 3 timeouts. I just don't think I'll be able to score fast enough. The toughest part about jumping in these rebuilds is I never know what the playbooks are, and I don't know what are good plays to begin with, and I'm not a good player as it is. But that is wide open. Is T. Higgins. Run down the field. Outrun him. The wheel is always a good idea. Huge touchdown, huge score. We're back in the ball game. That was the absolute best thing that could have happened. 75-yard touchdown. That's my favorite play in the game. And I did find it in the playbook, so that meant we could score. With 1 minute and 47 seconds remaining, 3 timeouts, I don't think there's any reason to attempt an onside kick here. We just need to make a stop and use our timeouts. Then we should only have to go about half the field to score a touchdown to tie, or go for 2, which I've been doing. And we've had a pretty high success rate on those. I'm thinking this is a run. Just gotta hold our angles. Get in the back. Oh, it's play action. Someone get to Bengal King. There's a flag. I hope it's a hold. It is a hold, but okay. So what do we do with this? Because we can make it 2nd and 16 or 3rd and 6. I think we're gonna opt for 2nd and 16. That's actually a really tough call because with the time and with potential of a big play at any moment, I just didn't know exactly what to do, but we're going to rush the passer. It's play action. Come on. Big tackle. We're going to call a timeout. 1:29. They picked up almost nothing, so we definitely made the right decision because it's now 3rd and 13. 0 receivers. We just have to make a tackle. That's all we have to do is wrap up. I'm going to use her Shaq Thompson and shoot a gap. It's play action again. Let me get after the quarterback, dude. Stuck in an animation where I can't get to him, but it's an incomplete pass, so we have a timeout. They're going to punt the ball back. It's Brian Anger. He's got a bit of a leg to him. Christian McCaffrey's returning punts for us. What is this, Stanford? Okay, I mean, he's a good player. We'll get him back here, maybe make somebody miss. It's maybe the worst juke I've ever seen. They're blitzing, which means Christian McCaffrey could be open on a quick swing if nobody picks him up, and he is going to be. We're just going to flip it out to him. There's a decent juke move. Tried the stiff arm. Not going to call a timeout just yet, as we're going to hopefully get back to the line. I tried the wheel there. It's 3rd and 8. Christian McCaffrey really did not do what I wanted him to do there. But that is open. Can we get it over? Yes, we can. Austin Hooper. Stiff arming outside, out of bounds, down at the 37. 40 seconds remain. Dude, I love those wheel routes. We just need to get Christian McCaffrey the football. He's the game changer. He's someone that can make a huge difference. We're going outside, though. Curtis Samuel's out of bounds. They're saying he caught it. He didn't. There's no way. He was definitely out. Are they going to give that to me? No, there's no way. It's a booth review. It's going to be overturned. We can still go over the middle with 1 timeout. We don't have to be forced into an outside throw here. Just worried about Khalil Mack. But we get it to Christian McCaffrey. He's going to be down at the 16. That was a perfect time for a timeout. I just want Christian McCaffrey again. We're going to roll out, though. Go, Christian. Go. Sideline. There we go. I mean, he's just a sick receiver, even though he's a running back. We're going to have the ball on the 4. 22 seconds remain. The best part about this is I wouldn't even really... Like, if we took a sack, it'd be bad. But it wouldn't kill the game for us. And we have a touchdown. It's T. Higgins. Let's go. Managing to tie the game here. T. Higgins, 2 touchdowns when we needed the most. And I am going to go for 2. If we don't get it, we don't get it. But I want to go for 2. We run on this. We're gonna try. We have Christian McCaffrey. He's a little bit tired, but we'll see if we can punch it into the end zone. And we got it. 2-point conversion is successful. We go up 35-34 with 19 seconds remaining. Oh, Bengal King's going to scramble. That's the worst thing he could have done. He fumbles the football. It is recovered by Dante Jackson. We could just go down here, but I'm going to get a little bit sticky with it. Return it to the 15. That is the ball game. We're going to the Super Bowl. Titans, Panthers. I am worried about this matchup. The Titans are usually really, really good in simulation. We do have some upgrade points. We should have some development changes, hopefully, just because it looks cooler, not because it will do anything for us in game. But what do we have going here? Nothing on offense, and then defensively, nothing on defense in terms of development upgrades. That's lame. We're in the Super Bowl, dude. Give me something. But all right, Super Bowl, Arizona, Panthers, Titans. They're an 83 overall. Please, can we walk out of here with a Super Bowl victory? Okay, simulating to the end of the game. We are down 3 already. Make it 6. Insurmountable lead, clearly. No, we get it back with a touchdown. 13-7 as the Titans score a TD of their own. Now we're into the second half. We got to get back in the end zone, man. Seems like we've been so close and haven't managed to score. It's a fourth quarter. Let's lock down. We score a touchdown. A minute 34 to play. I'm going to jump in, play some defense. We'll see what we can do. Let's keep the Titans in their own half, and that'd be with a big sack probably. Or they go over the middle. They got 3 timeouts. All we have to do is keep them out of the end zone. Marcus Mariota is their quarterback. Let's shut it down. Let's close the door. They're showing absolutely no interest in calling a timeout, which I'm a big fan of. Don't do that. Don't call a timeout. And I'll let them check down all day because a field goal does them no good. 2nd and 7, 25 seconds to play. Big stop here. They're going to check down underneath. I'm totally cool with that. That's Jonnu Smith. And that is their final timeout. They pretty much have to go to the end zone here. Which means we're going to play cover 3 and just drop back. Checking down again, and that might seal the deal here. They're going to have to get back to the line really, really quickly. Final play does not even happen. The Carolina Panthers are Super Bowl champions here as we have dethroned the Tennessee Titans, who are so dominant in franchise sometimes. Marcus Mariota crushed. Well, I think the good thing for Mariota is he won't be on the Titans next year in real life, so he doesn't even have to worry about losing a Super Bowl to the Panthers somewhere down the line as a Titan. More than likely. Can you imagine if he ended up like staying with the Titans or going back to the Titans and then being in the Super Bowl one day against the Panthers and that all comes full circle? That'd be weird. I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. Sometimes players do go back to their former teams. More often I feel like in baseball than in football, just because players play for longer and stuff like that. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the team build, the rebuild, the Super Bowl victory, all of the above, whatever it was. Hope you hit that subscribe button. If you're not subscribed already, like the video, blah, 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 blah. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.
We'll